private judge? Please, Aaron. What the heck is a private judge?
In a lot of instances in Florida, what that would look like would be like private arbitration.
Oh, okay.
We've done arbitration,
Yeah.
right? So it would be more like arbitration. For a good example of it is Judge Judy. Judge Judy is an arbitrator.
Enough said.
Right? So it's where a legitimate court case is filed, but they hand it over to the arbitrator it's binding arbitration, and that person makes the decision, and you really get to choose your judge. In most all instances, you don't get to choose your judge. You get the judge that's assigned to you per the court, right? So a lot of times you're just kind of stuck with who the judge is. They chose a judge, and then that judge had a personal relationship with Brad's attorney. I want to kind of go into a little bit more depth on what bifurcation means, right?
And then afterwards, I need to give a little bit more detail. So I got some.
Bifurcation divorced the parties. They're single. They could get married. They could do whatever it was. They could die, right? If they died, and their will would act as though they were a person who was divorced. So in Florida, getting a bifurcation is a pretty extreme remedy. It's in extreme circumstances, and it's typically reserved for people who are maybe somebody who has a terminal illness and there's a high likelihood that they could pass away. We could achieve a bifurcation for them so that at the time in which they passed away, they weren't married. So their estate wouldn't have all of the effects of their spouse getting any mandatory 30% that their spouse might be entitled to as it relates to the decedent's estate. So again, the fact that they achieved a bifurcation is probably likely to the length of time that their divorce had been pending. If you think about it, from 2019, when did you say they filed for divorce? 2016. Now, to me, that's only 3 years, and that probably wouldn't pass muster in Florida. Again, Brad and Angelina money, and if the two of them really had
California.
Right, it's California, so their standards are different. So if they had come to the court with a disposition that they really needed to make sure they were legally divorced for, estate planning, for a terminal illness, perhaps that really had to do with Angelina's medical condition, and that's why we heard about it, and that's why it became a thing that was publicized. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. She probably achieved that by playing up that divorce, that terminal illness likelihood. I imagine that, right?
Wow.
Next level.
That's a strategy right there.
Right? So you want to get divorced, come up with an Angelina story.
Right.